episode 7 is now out, so I'm seeing a lot of very passionate reactions already to the
Really?
whole episode, but especially to the Galadriel and Elrond kiss. Reading that moment in the script for the first time, what's going through his head in that moment.
Yeah, what's your read?
What's your read?
It's a distraction.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'd love to hear, I guess, when you read that in the script, kind of what were the discussions, I guess.
Well, you improvised it on the day, right?
It's like the 8th time I've edited that drug this morning.
Yeah, but they haven't heard it. Is this the first time you've heard it?
This is the first time I've heard it, but
Welcome.
It's a distraction.
Awesome. No, good. I mean, that's what I get too.
We thought we'd be fighting him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When in the initial, before we saw any episodes or anything, and then obviously that's not the case. But so it changed. But we all, if you've read the books, you know that's what happens next, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first thing that's the big box to tick, as they say, for using regional manager sort of language.
That's right. We want to tick a proverbial Middle-earth box. We want to get a spreadsheet here and make sure we tick all the boxes. Hi, King Gil-galad here for office management.
Spin-off show. It's exciting. And I guess, so you thought you were going to be fighting Sauron originally, and then there's obviously the twist that he's brought these two armies together to confront each other. It's a twist on the book, but it's one that I think reimagines Tolkien in a way that is fascinating. So I'd love to hear, I guess, a little bit more about that.
Yeah, you mean bringing both the armies together?
Yeah.
I think the Adar, it's almost like Adar arrives a bit early, and Sauron intentionally wanted to coax Adar to follow him, but then Adar's like, I'm here, and Sauron is kind of like, well, just wait a bit because I need to finish these rings. And that kind of adds a lot of tension. And also it's cool because it shows that like Sauron just he doesn't get his way the whole time.
Yeah, it is really cool to see you frustrated for a bit.
Which is, and like he loses quite a bit of control throughout this, these last 2 episodes, which we haven't seen very much, which is nice.
That is like, their performances, that part of Tolkien lore, that it's this kind of almost weird depiction of gaslighting and manipulation.
Things like gas.
Just gas everywhere.
The force
in the room. The 2 of them.
Yeah.
But if you read the histories and stuff like that, I think what's most exciting about it is what he wrote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also there's loads of other examples where characters are manipulated like that or tricked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this, by dark forces in this way that we haven't seen on screen before. But it's a massive part of the way that darkness operates in this world. To play into greed and envy and flattery and and how Melkor and Sauron manipulate.
Yeah.
That is a huge part of the writing, so it's amazing to see, and it's done so well.
I also think a lot of the relationships, at the end of the day, this is very much about the different dynamics that we can all relate to. So it's parent-child or best friends, leader, civilian. And it's always the relationship. So it's a lot of like the two-hander scenes. It's a lot of the sort of understanding and the building of, how these characters relate to one another, how their relationship evolves, what the stakes are in these relationships. And I'm always moved once you see something really shift, when the emotion comes in and you see some sort of shift in the relationship. And there are so many, a lot of these characters, some of us don't have any interplay, but for the pairings, I think all the pairings that we have, those are the scenes that I think are always really captivating to me.
Awesome.